All right, let's talk about Lumen Technologies. In 2025, this stock became a total battleground. On one side, you had all this incredible hype about the future, and on the other, the cold, hard reality of its business today. So, what really happened? We're going to break it all down. Okay, first things first, let's just look at the number 46.3% in a single year. I mean, in any market, a double digit gain is something to celebrate, right? But this is a whole different level. A number like that just begs the question, what on earth was going on? And to really get a feel for how massive that is, you need some context. So take a look at this. The whole market had a pretty killer year, right? The S&P was up over 16%, the Nasdaq over 20, fantastic. But then you see Lumen's bar, it just towers over them. It didn't just beat the market, it absolutely crushed it. We're talking more than double. So you know right away this wasn't just a rising tide lifts all boats. No, something very specific was happening with this one company. So, a stock on fire. What exactly was fueling this incredible run? And here's where the story gets really interesting. You'd think a run like this was just a straight line up, right? Wrong. In fact, after an absolutely mind-blowing 190% gain in 2024, Lumen started 2025 by falling. Yep, a post-earnings sell-off had everyone thinking, okay, the party's over, the momentum's gone. But it wasn't. So what happened? What was the spark? Well, it all came down to a few key AI partnerships that didn't just turn things around, they lit a fire under the stock. You can see the whole turnaround play out right here. The year starts with that sell-off. Things are looking kind of grim. Then, boom, August hits. They announce a deal with the Pac-12 network, and you see the stock start to recover. But the real game changer, the moment everything exploded, was in October. That's when the huge Palantir partnership was revealed. And that one deal, man, that was all the momentum they needed to just keep climbing right into the next year. So let's drill down on that Palantir deal, because it was everything. We're talking about a $200 million partnership. And what it did, basically, was take Lumen's network, their core connectivity tech, and plug it right into Palantir's super powerful AI platforms. For the market, this was like a lightning bolt. Suddenly, Lumen wasn't just some old telecom company anymore. No, they were now a key player, providing the essential plumbing for the entire AI revolution. Huge. But, and this is a huge but, just as everyone was getting hyped up, Wall Street was throwing up some serious red flags. The market was flooring it, and the professional analysts, they were slamming on the brakes. And that brings us to the real head-scratcher, right? I mean, the stock is up almost 50%. So why in the world were the experts, the people whose entire job is to analyze this stuff, so darn cautious? I mean, look at this. It just says it all. You've got 7 analysts covering Lumen. Almost all of them are saying hold. One is even saying sell. But the crazy part? Look for the buy ratings. Go ahead, look. You won't find any. 0. Not a single analyst was telling people to buy this stock. How does that even happen with a stock that just went up 46%? The disconnect is just... wow. And it gets even crazier. The stock's trading around $8.45. But where did the analysts think it was going? On average, their price target was $7.92. Let that sink in. The experts weren't just saying, don't buy it. They were saying it's actually worth less than its current price. They were predicting it would go down. Okay, so this is the core of it all. Future hype versus current reality. Let's really get into why the market and the analysts were seeing two completely different companies. So, what were the analysts thinking? Well, they weren't totally ignoring the good stuff. They saw the company cleaning up its balance sheet, they saw the new deals, they saw the cost cuts. They're like, okay, good, check, check, check. But they were weighing all that against some really big worries. Stuff like, where's the revenue growth going to come from? And the big one, the huge elephant in the room, what about the old parts of their business that are just dying? This quote from Wells Fargo just nails it. They say, yeah, the new stuff, that's the PCF, the private cloud business, that's growing, great. But it's fighting against these outsized declines in their old school legacy services. It's like trying to fill a bucket with a leaky hose. You're pouring new water in, but the old water is rushing out just as fast, maybe even faster. And for the analysts, the big question was, can they pour water in fast enough to win that race? So you really have two sides to this company, two completely different stories fighting for control. And here it is, side by side. The market story is all about the future. It's a bet on high-growth AI powered by these awesome new partnerships. It's exciting. But the analyst's story? It's all about the present. It's grounded in the numbers today, which show a company that's still being dragged down by its old, shrinking telecom business. Okay, so let's boil this all down. What do you need to remember? First, that huge 46% surge was all about AI hype, kicked off by that big Palantir deal. But, and this is key, while the market was celebrating, Wall Street was skeptical, with exactly 0 buy ratings. And that's the whole tension right there. The amazing potential of the future versus the tough challenges of today. It's the ultimate market showdown, hype versus fundamentals. And so that leaves us with the billion-dollar question, doesn't it? Will Lumen's shiny new AI future be strong enough to finally escape its old telecom past? The answer to that question is going to decide whether 2025 was just a flash in the pan or the start of something truly new.